In the world of anime, you normally have the same basic formula where the main character is normally either super overpowered or just incredibly gifted in their own way. But what happens when the characters themselves decide that they don't want people around them to know who they are or what kind of abilities that they may have? Well, you get a series that is filled with suspense, mystery, and also excitement. After all, it's always amazing to see a character go through so many episodes hiding themselves, only to finally reveal their secret at the right time and place. And if that's what you're into, then you come to the right place. In this video, we're going to be talking about characters who are legends or powerful figures in their own right, but nobody else around them knows who they are. Now before we get started, make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and also subscribe to my channel for more anime and manga recommendations. And with that being said, let's get right on into it. Here's my top 10 list of anime where the main character is a legend but no one knows about it. Now this list is in no particular order, but at number 10 we have Zetman. This was a popular anime when it was released, as it comes with a ton of action-packed scenes as well as a plot that is actually quite enjoyable. The story starts off with two rival heroes and also friends called Zet and Alphas. For instance, Jin Kanzaki, who is a young man that possesses the ability to transform into a superhuman being known as Zet, and giving him a wide range of abilities to use. Basically, think of him as Superman. The other guy is called Koga Amagi, who is a brilliant and rich young man with a strong sense of justice and uses various kinds of advanced technologies like a suit to fight against his enemies. Basically, think of him as Batman, but is actually known as Alphas. Now in this anime, basically what happens is that the grandfather Koga experimented and created beings known as players who have ultimately developed a conscience and decided to run off and live their lives on their own. Now what makes this anime interesting is that most of the players want to have a peaceful life and live together with humans. However, there's a select bunch that thinks that they are above humans and should reign over them. It is because of this that our two protagonistic heroes come into play, as they have to fight off the evil players to ensure the safety of the world. In a battle of chaos, destruction, and also amazing abilities, this is one show everyone needs to watch. Number 9. Banished from the hero's party, I decided to live a quiet life in the countryside. One of the newer animes to have come out recently, being Banished from the Hero's Party, I decided to live a quiet life in the countryside, or Shin no Nakama, is a perfect match where the main character is doing exactly what this video is about. Set in a world filled with magic and demons, the main character called Red was a part of the legendary Hero's Party set to slay the Demon Lord. However, he is eventually banished from the party after the group deemed him too weak to continue adventuring. He thus decides to seclude himself in a small town village where he hides his identity and opens up a medicine shop. It is there where he eventually meets one of his former allies, and together they work together to try to live a new and happy life away from their past. But unbeknownst to Red, his past is not something that can easily be forgotten. He is one of the most important characters in that world. It's a story that is both considered a slice of life as well as a fantasy that will have readers up and about cheering for the characters as they see exactly just how they deal with the situation that they are given. Number 8. The Devil is a Part-Timer.
笹塚の100均で売ってるやつじゃないか。
それが何よ。
The story basically revolves around Satan himself, as he is a demon lord with his sole goal of trying to conquer the land of Ente Isla with his vast demon army. However, during his efforts of trying to take over the region, his plans were foiled by the hero Emilia. Because of this, he is forced to make a swift retreat through a dimensional portal that eventually brought him into the human world. But he didn't travel there alone, as he is joined together by his loyal general Alciel. Now, finding himself stranded in what is considered to be a modern day Tokyo, he vows to one day return and complete his goal of conquering Ente Isla, but only if he is able to find a way back. Stuck in this world with no magic, he is forced to take on the identity of a human called Sato Mao and begins working at a local McDonald's, which is basically a local fast food restaurant, to help make ends meet. But once he starts working here, he soon finds out that accomplishing his previous goal is not enough, and that he is determined to conquer the world of Earth as well, slowly climbing up the corporate ladder and satisfying any and all customers that come his way. It's a story that is lighthearted, silly, and also filled with comedic gags that makes for one hilarious show to watch.
私は勇者。世界が変わっても、その真実だけは変わらない。
Number 7. One Punch Man.
チェックメイト。あ、 すまん。
One of the most popular series to have come out in recent years is one known as One Punch Man. Now this series probably needs no introduction, but just in case you haven't heard about it, it revolves around the main character called Saitama, whose only goal was to become a hero since it is his childhood dream. He eventually trains for 3 straight years and in the process lost all of his hair. However, he is also rewarded with an incredible power-up where he becomes so strong that no enemy is able to even come close to beating him. In fact, all it takes is literally one punch and the enemy will either be obliterated to nothing or just destroyed. Because of this, he is no longer able to enjoy the thrill of becoming a hero and is thus starting to get bored. But all that soon changes when he meets a cyborg human called Genos, who wishes to become his disciple. Together they join the Hero Association and become certified heroes as well as get the recognition that he seemingly wants. But even with that being said, even though he is now a hero and still does all kinds of heroic feats, nobody knows exactly who he is or what he has done. In a story that is filled with comedic gags, action-packed scenes, and amazing artwork, viewers of this show will be treated to one of the most amazing animes to have come out in recent years. If you're a fan of destruction or over-the-top action scenes, then this is one show you should definitely watch. Number 6. High school prodigies have it easy even in another world. Ever wonder what would happen when a group of prodigies take over the world? Well, that's basically what this anime is about. Basically what happens is that you have 7 of the world's greatest prodigies together with each having a special ability that they are good at, thus being transported to another world. The prodigies themselves include people like a Prime Minister of Japan, a genius inventor, a ninja, a famous doctor, a master swordsman, a brilliant magician, and also a multimillionaire. All of whom wake up in a totally different world where 2 human races live side by side in a feudal society. Basically the 2 human races that live side by side in this society includes a Bulma, who are basically furry like animal humans, as well as a Huma, who are people who have a small chance of magical aptitude. After being rescued by the Bulma, the group of prodigies decide to use their advanced abilities and skills as well as knowledge to help pay back the people of the village for their hospitality. In doing so, they are also trying to find a way back home. Though the story is a little bit unbelievable at times, it still makes for a great and fun show to watch as you see exactly just how amazing prodigies can be when given the task to help make the world a better place. Number 5. Plunderer. Plunderer is an interesting show as it is set in a post-apocalyptic world that revolves around numbers. These numbers basically control everyone's everyday life as each person will have their worth measured by a special feature called count that is imprinted somewhere on their bodies. Now what's interesting here is that if a person's count reaches the number 0, then they will automatically be dragged into the abyss, which is said to kill any person who goes in. Now basically the story follows around a few main characters, with one of them being known as Hina, who has a count that revolves around how many kilometers she has walked. She decides to go on a journey after hearing from her mother's final wish to go find the legendary Ace. During this journey, she eventually meets a strange guy who is wearing a mask called Lich Bak, but unbeknownst to her, this guy is actually one of the most powerful commanders this world has ever seen. Hiding his identity from the rest of the world, they eventually travel around together to discover the truth about their world, the Abyss, and also other legendary figures from his past. With all things being said though, it's a story that is absolutely suspenseful and will have everyone on the tip of their toes as they see exactly how a world like this will revolve around numbers. Number 4. Classroom of the Elite.
ちょっと待てよ。なんで俺たちが歌が。
そんなの決まってるでしょ。夜中にこの中の誰かが盗んだのよ。
Now this is an interesting show that focuses on how one's skills or abilities can help make the world a better place. The entire show is set around the school called Kodo Ikusei Senior High School. Now on the outside, this might seem like a heaven on earth type of situation where the students are able to enjoy unparalleled freedom and is also ranked one of the top high schools in Japan. However, unbeknownst to most people, this school is actually far from ideal. In fact, this school was set up by the government of Japan to help foster students to help with the future of the country. And what makes this school so interesting is that there are 4 different classes in this academy ranging from A through D. Students are sorted through the ranks by their academic achievements as well as their survival skills in the outside world. The entire anime basically follows around one main character called Ayano Koki, who is a student that got placed in class D, which is the worst class. He is undoubtedly a quiet and lonesome guy that doesn't really interact with other people much. But even though he is put in the lowest ranked class possible, it was quickly revealed that he has the potential to be at the top of the class. But for him, for some reason, he just doesn't want to be there. Eventually, he meets up and befriends a few other people, and from there, his classroom adventures begin.
らしいわね。うまくしのげば上位クラスに近づけるかもしれないわ。
Number 3, The Misfit of Demon King Academy. Long ago in the distant past, there was a war between humans and demons that brought about widespread chaos and bloodshed. However, in an effort to put an end to the war, the Demon King called Anos Vodigold willingly sacrificed his life in hopes that it would bring peace to the world. After a few millennia later, the demon race created the Demon King Academy in preparation for the Demon King to return. However, once the Demon King, being Anos Vodigold, was actually reborn, he soon learns that this world is vastly different than what he has imagined. In fact, the level of magic in this world has drastically been reduced during his absence. Not only that, but when he enrolls into this academy to reclaim his almighty title, he soon finds out that history itself has been rewritten, and there is no mention or memory of his former past whatsoever. In fact, instead of him being the Demon King, it is someone else instead. Despite what has happened though, he sets out with a goal in mind to try to figure out exactly what has happened during his time away, as well as figure out who altered his glorious past. Now, even with that being said though, this is one anime that contains everything you can ever ask for. From charming personalities to a strong main character, as well as a slight bit of harm as well, it truly makes it a very exciting show to watch. Number 2, The Irregular at Magic High School. The Irregular at Magic High School is one of the most popular animes to come out during the year of 2014, and for good reason too. It's a story that's filled with action-packed scenes, advanced technology, and magic, as well as charming personalities that will captivate any and all viewers. The story focuses around two siblings called Tatsuya and Miyuki, who have both enrolled in the prestigious school called First High School. Upon taking the exam, Miyuki was placed in the first course, which is for students of the highest caliber, while Tatsuya was placed in the second course, which is for students who aren't as gifted as the first course students. Now, even though Tatsuya's test score is shown to be magically inept, he does possess some of the most extraordinary technical knowledge as well as physical combat capabilities and unique magic abilities. Because of this, he is actually considered an oddball since he is unlike any other student that they have seen. Using his abilities, he eventually gains the respect of all the students around him while also dealing with any and all kinds of problems that might occur. Number 1, The King's Avatar. This is an anime straight out of China, but it's also one of the most entertaining animes you can ever watch. Basically, the story follows around the character Ye Xiu, who is widely regarded as being a trailblazer and also top-tier professional player in the online multiplayer game Glory. He is even called the Battle God for his skills and contribution to the game throughout the years. However, one day he is forced to retire from the team and have to leave his gaming career behind him. In doing so, he decided to work a regular job instead and finds work at a nearby internet cafe. But not long after, his favorite game Glory decides to launch a new server for people to play, and he decides to once again try playing the game. This time as an entirely new character called Lord Grimm, and because of his vast knowledge of the game as well as having years of experience, he is able to obtain many achievements immediately, which catches the attention of all other players. And since he is technically starting fresh as a new account, he does encounter many challenges and problems that he'll need to face. Eventually gathering a new group of friends to play with, he once again decides to become the best in the game. Now, even though this anime is made from a Chinese studio, you should definitely not overlook it, as the quality of the anime as well as everything that it contains definitely rivals those of some of the bigger Japanese studios. It's definitely worth the watch.
喂，不要牧师，你开什么国际玩笑？没牧师谁拿 MT 啊？
所以 MT 也不要，换个更暴力的。
And with that, that brings us to the end of our video. I just want to say thank you all for watching. Hopefully you all enjoyed watching this because I had a lot of fun making this. If you want to see more content like this, be sure to like this video, also subscribe to my channel. It would mean so much to me. And with that being said, I'll see you later.